Here's what agents don't get is they come
Go
from
ahead.
other industries and they think that they know it.
Mhm.
Oh, I've sold hella cars or hella solar or I've sold this. I'm good. That's great. And we're going to need that experience. But forget your process and forget what you did. Here's the freaking script. Do it.
Thank you very much for joining us today, dude.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I had asked, I know you had ran a really great training for our organization not too long ago, a few weeks ago actually. I just joined like the main room and I just heard you absolutely like on the top of your lungs just like losing it a little bit. And then like I left and then I came back and you were on the golf course. So I was like, something's going on here. But everyone at the end, I just remember a whole bunch of thank yous. Like people. Oh man, I heard that we haven't invited you on the call ever either, so it's only right that we have you, man.
Thanks.
And
Thanks. Appreciate it.
no,
Appreciate
of
it. Thanks for
course, of
having me.
course, of course, man. I do want to start with this. So definitely topic of discussion today. Really just want to talk about a little bit of sales process, a little bit of obviously you have a team as well. Let's talk about the leadership side, and then just a little bit of advice that you have for anyone else who's entering the industry, been in the industry, things of that regard. Um, I think right now is a really good time, man, for us to have you specifically on this call because, as you already know, a lot of our organization does focus heavily on like inbound sort of,
Yeah. Yeah.
calls, right? I would say, so it kind of, we've kind of been spoon fed in that regard and like not really, people have lost the ability or the drive to want to hunt. You
Mhm.
see what I'm saying? Like a majority of this industry typically does. So kind of want to get a little bit of your perspective on that. Talk about what kind of leads you're running. 'Cause you're doing a lot of MP right now, right?
Right, right. So that's all I do is nothing but mortgage protection.
Okay.
Been doing that honestly for the last 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Um, my boy Anthony Amaker, he's the one that really got me on that route. I was a big final expense guy at first.
Hmm.
For the first like 4 years in this industry, I just always ran final expense just because it was kind of like a easier sell.
Yeah.
Older people, a little bit easier to talk to, and not as most of them aren't as aggressive.
Hmm.
But there's some aggressive ones. But yeah, yeah, mainly mortgage.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all I've been running for the last 2 to 3
Okay.
years.
Okay. I wanna touch on that too. I want to get an understanding of like why you transitioned off of final expense to mortgage. Before I do so though, just to give everyone the most amount of clarity, what is your role within the organization? And then how long have you been with us?
Oh, so honestly, like my situation's weird. I'm blocked out on most of my carriers because me personally, I did leave FFL for a little bit, and then my carriers left with that. So getting everything back over has been super sticky, so and messy. But that's why you kind of probably see a lot of my team's numbers on the boards, but not mine. Trust me, I'm right in business though. And my guys, they see me in the office every day, right in business. I mean, my role in our organization is, I mean, the good thing with us is I have strong leaders. Kenneth Barker was one of them, Greg, and he teaches me a lot about leadership because honestly, I mean, people say I'm a leader, but I honestly don't think I am. But I mean, I guess that's just kind of how it goes. You just kind of lead by example.
Yeah.
And and how we're building, we are trying to make it as not W-2, but kind of making it as like W-2 jobs, meaning like we have our sales managers, we have our hiring managers, we have our training guys, we have our and every leg that we bring in that is trying to build, we are making sure that we are meeting with every one of our members so that I'm not having to do everything and Ken is not having to do everything. So mainly my main part in what we do and how we build is really just putting numbers up and selling and also teaching others how to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
So
Everyone's
that's yep.
go ahead, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say that's pretty much what my job is.
Hmm. Smart. I mean, and it honestly, it's an excellent strategy of how to build as well. So I think like that typical sort of mm, industry average, like build anyone can build and bring in anybody and everybody like that thing is it's slowly dying out. So you kind of need structures that way, like you know you aren't, like you said, having to do everything, and you can still prioritize leading by example at the same time. 'Cause it's super important that you still have the time to be able to like talk to clients in front of your agents. But if your
Right.
time is like constrained by, having to do training and having to do onboarding and having to do all the and the talent acquisition side of things, very tough, man. It stretches your time razor thin, and at that point, you can't really expect your organization's production nor your own production to excel without being able to have that time. So to definitely respect, the way that you guys are going about doing that, man. But and I also do appreciate you for touching on what your specialty is within our agency as well. Now,
And one more thing I want to add on that really
yeah,
quick. I
yeah,
don't want to like hold that thought, whatever you're gonna say next. But I mean, you want to think of like you want to build something that's sellable
mhm.
at the end, even if you're not your plan is not to sell it. But that's how you want to think of it. So that's why I said you kind of want to build it like have that W-2 mindset of
Mhm.
building stuff because at the end of it, once you have $1 million, $2 million agency, you got to have systems in place, managers, hiring people. It can't just be, oh, well, it's all on Samir's team. Laura will take care of it. No, because it's going to get too big for that. That's not what Laura and them are there for, right? They're there for mainly Samir's stuff and kind of keeping us in check. But it's our job to get something that is kind of going to be sellable, right? And even if you're not going to sell it, at least you'll have something where you can step away and go on vacation and not get 20 phone calls while you're on vacation. Even though I still work while I'm on vacation, but it's not like I'm taking calls where I'm not with my family, right?
Right.
And missing special moments and stuff like that, right? I could put time aside in the morning. I'm working for 2 hours. I know Kenneth, I know Jace, I know Jared are all going to be doing their jobs. Aaron, Austin, and all them how they know what they're going to be doing, so stuff's not going to be falling apart, and people
Right.
aren't going to be calling me all the time,
Right.
right? So you just want to make it to where it's going to be sellable and have that mindset, so that even if you're not going to sell it, you have something that's solid. That's how
Mhm.
we think of it.
Respect it. The championship team. Everyone is singing the same tune in that regard. So definitely respect that. Kind of want to transition a little bit off of that a little bit. Talk about, obviously, I think you talked about mortgage protection being your main lead source. So if you are ripping mortgage protection right now, drop a one in the chat, please. That way we know like who we're talking to. If you are also doing like outbound dialing work, this is super important for you to pay attention to. So let's talk a little bit about that. So, what specifically would you say? Also, talk about this first. Why did you transition from, what made you want to transition from FEX to mortgage protection? Because some would kind of call that backwards, but you tell me, what made you want to do that?
Mainly, I just wanted to see, like I said, Anthony got me into mortgage protection. I mean, he got into this industry after me and skyrocketed above me quickly. Not only just because he worked harder at that moment than me, but
That moment.
he put more he put more
That's
money into
crazy.
it. I can say that because now I finally I've hit my first Hall of Fame year, so I haven't done that before, and he's done that back to back to back years. So now I'm finally competing, but the main reason is because of mortgage protection. He is mortgage protection and the type of client it is. And he would always tell me, he's like, dude, I don't know, my chargeback rate isn't that high. He was kind of surprised at what I would tell him sometimes. And just the experiences with clients were different. Meaning, I found out that once you figured out how to go about a mortgage protection versus a final expense, they're actually easier to talk to. And people get intimidated and think, oh, mortgage protection, people have more money, doctors, you're talking to high end people sometimes. I've sold doctors, I've sold freaking people that did what Anthony does with rockets and stuff. And once you do that, you feel really, really good about yourself because this is something that everybody needs and not just some old lady that just clicked on something. No offense to old people, but just old ladies older guys or old men, old ladies that clicked on the thing on the TV and they're going to get 20 other calls and get replaced. The retention was just better. So I was like, all right, I'm going to find out for myself, made the switch over, started getting some age mortgage, dialing those by hand, all of them, and then got the script down, and then it became true. My chargeback rate was 10 to 15% less. I was like around the 70s, but now my retention with almost everybody is right around 85s, 90s. So it's it's proven, and that's I guess the main reason why I made the switch over, honestly.
Respect it. Respect it. Let's talk about this too, just so people understand like who you really are, how you really operate. How much you like averaging issue paid wise on a monthly basis right now?
So I'm looking at my sheet right now, and my average, I have some 40s, 50Kers, but my average is like right around 30, 35K a month.
Okay, cool. So you have a pulse on that. So you know that every single month, in order for you to put food on the table, you have kids as well too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Two.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. You know that you need to write 30K every single month for you to be able to, live your life on your means, right? Not the way
Right.
that you want to live it. Now, out of that 30K, are you comfortable talking about deposits too? Like net income? You comfortable?
So 30K is what is written. I mean submit sometimes is like higher, 39, 40K, and then 80% of that is gonna actually issue pay. So right around 29, 34K, right around there. And then
Mhm.
obviously our advance is mostly 75%, depending on what our on top of our comps. So yeah, you're talking around 15, 20K. Yeah.
Insane. Beautiful stuff. How long have you been in the industry? I don't know if you talked
About
about
about 9 years, going on 10 years.
saying, dude.
I spend roughly I'm turning 30 now, and I spend roughly about,
Damn.
I think it's like 1,400 a week on lead spend, and that's all mortgage.
1,400 a week, that's what? 1,400 a week. It's 5,600 a month on these. You're writing about those are great numbers. That's a five. That's more than that's insane actually. That's really good. Because you're like more than 5Xing too.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I do a lot of other things. So I have a gym.
Mm.
So a lot of my time goes to that. So I do want to write more, but I mean, with this industry, you are able to make really good money and spend your time how you want once you have your schedule down, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, I want to write more, and I could write more if I wanted, because I would just need to buy more leads.
Right. Or have
But I
more
mean,
time.
I coach high school football. I own a semi-private gym. I'm able to do all that and write that much business.
It's insane.
So I live my life how I want. I have my two kids. So and switching over to mortgage protection has helped with that, because the show rates are higher and the retention is better, which means you're keeping more of your money. So that's
Mm.
kind of why I switched over.
No doubt, no doubt. And I definitely want to talk about like, the skill aspect, what it's going to take for people to be able to, call MP. Uh, for new people who are with us too, a lot of folks don't know what retention means, right? They'd also, the people, that's why I asked you submit, issue paid, all these things, because these terms are like, folks don't understand that. So can you just
Mhm.
talk a little bit real quick about like the importance of retention, um, and the long-term benefits and short-term benefits and long-term benefits of it, you know?
Yeah, retention's everything, because like, yeah, you can make money quick in this industry, but it can also stack up against you quick, right? And we're all human. We all have those negative doubts and everything, and those creep up quick. And that's the fastest way out of this industry, is having bad retention and high chargeback rates, right? That's what we mean by retention, is your chargebacks.
Right.
How much of your business that you're submitting is charging back? If more than like if you're at 70% with all your carriers all the way across, you're feeling it. I mean, you're making money, but you're feeling like, dang, I'm spending a lot, I'm paying a lot of money back as I'm making money, right? Once you hit that 80, 85%, 6 month, 12-month persistency, then you're really actually reaping the benefits of what you're sowing, right? So that's, I mean, retention is just everything. Just and then on top of that, I mean, I looked at my commission statement this morning with Americo, and I had like it had to be like 25 just um people that just paid their bill, right? Do. And all that is just I think equaled up to like $170 of over not override, but
Residual. Residual.
residual.
Yeah.
And that's because people are staying on the books, right? I'm just like, oh shit, that's dope. I just like woke up and my phone bill's paid. Let's
Mhm.
go. You know? So that's the important of retention is it's just going to pay you in the long run and it keeps you in the business. And a lot of that is just being trained correctly. Being
Yeah.
trained correctly is a lot of that, honestly.
Yeah. 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 Hey, if anyone, is like struggling with the retention or anything like that, if you want to be a little vulnerable and you want to drop like a two in the chat or something, that way we can kind of maybe touch over some strategies that'll help folks out when it comes to maintaining their business. That would be, we can definitely do that. So if you are struggling with your retention, drop a two in the chat. We'd be more than happy to like shed some insight on how to maintain your business as we progress with this call. No shame in that. I think everyone who has good retention now kind of has to like know what it's like to have really bad retention at some point, right? To be able to get to a position where they have better stuff. And I think people are dropping twos here. What kind of strategies would you sort of suggest to someone who's trying to improve their retention? Like what have you done personally to sort of make it better? Other than like switching up your lead types. Like
I mean,
I
no,
know there's a lot of things
honestly, it's all at the end of the call, right?
mm,
And just letting them know, like, Ion, you're gonna keep getting calls. And like I told you earlier, I'm a broker. I search, dude. I go as far sometimes as like I'll have my toolkits pulled up, and I'll show them I'm getting them the best plan, right? And I'm like, look, I'm getting you the best plan. Okay, like this is what we're doing. You're gonna have people that call you. You're gonna have people that always ring your line. I still have people that ring my line, and I bought my house a year or 2 years ago. Okay, it's gonna always happen. But I'm your agent for life. That digital business card that I sent you, just put that in your phone. It's gonna save in your phone with my picture and everything. Just click the button below, save it right there. And if anyone calls you and they're showing you a better deal, I'm not telling you not to believe it, Ion. I'm just telling you to call and check with me really quick to make sure no one's trying to swindle you or twist your arm about this. Okay. I already know all your information. I have your social, your date of birth, your husband. I have all that. We're not going to want to give out up to multiple people, are you?
mm,
Okay. So check with me so I can make sure. And if that deal is better, I will let you know.
mm,
Okay. But like I said, I'm a broker with the top people in the nation, and I'm making sure you're getting the best deal for you. Okay. And getting you qualified for the best one.
mm. There you go.
And then that really makes them feel good, and then on top of that, like I don't do this and I need to um send cards. That's
Mhm.
another thing that I think will always help. I don't do it, and I don't know why. I'm like, I'm not preaching. I'm not someone that really preaches what they don't do, but I mean it's something that I need to do and I want to do. I just need to get to it. But Anthony and they do it, and their team retention is very well, right? Ryan does it, and it's sending just those cards, right? And that has to help.
Mhm.
There's no way it doesn't help, right? So just little stuff like that, but just closing it up at the end and just letting him know, like, dude, there's gonna be people trying to call and message you. Okay, I'm still getting that. People are still getting that. My mama still gets that. Just call me and make sure, and I'll be straight up with you and let you know.
Mhm. Beautiful stuff, dude. I don't want to take the spotlight away from you, but like I super like you and me are singing the exact same tune when it comes to like appreciating that retention, man. It's like one of the biggest things that we like, push for. We're not only just bringing in agents, but keeping agents here. Because like when you have good retention, you also maintain your agents as well, right? People don't get
Right.
discouraged, things like that. So I definitely want to add to that as well. And what you're saying is absolutely correct, right? The end of the call, crucial, 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 crucial to be able to retain that business. I like to follow this three-piece sort of framework that I like to share, which is first step is letting them know when the physical copy is going to come out, right? So if you're down, we can role play a little bit.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
all right, Slasha. So, congratulations. I'm waiting to see here what America is going to say. So just give me one moment. While I'm doing that, like I promised you earlier, I'm saving you to my contacts. That way, you can call my cell phone 7 days a week if need be, right? So this point, I'm literally putting you in my cell phone, right? So
Right.
sending them a text. Did you get that text by chance, Eli?
Yep. Got it.
Okay, cool. Just go ahead and save me to your contacts. I'm going to explain a few more things to you while we're waiting on this decision from Americo. So first things first, physical copy of your policy documents. Those are going to come out 2 to 3 weeks after the draft date. Okay, like I told you earlier, I don't want you to worry if you don't receive them like the day after, you don't receive them tomorrow, right? Because you did set the draft date out like next month on the 3rd, right? So you have to give it at least 2 weeks from then. I would assume that you could probably get those documents second week of January. If by God, whatever God awful reason, you don't receive those documents, give me a call. Do not worry, right? That's the whole point of why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, which is saving you to my contacts. Does that make sense so far?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep.
You're gonna get
Yep.
the digital copy of the application in your email after this call or while you're on the phone here. But physical copy of your documents are gonna come out 2 weeks after the first draft. That's number one. Okay. Number two, Eli, this is the second part of the framework, which is letting them know no one else should be calling, right? This is the real retention
Right.
piece. So it attests to like what you just said. So
Yes.
second thing I can't stress to you enough, Eli, is that if anyone else gives you a call pertaining to your personal information, talking about your premium, talking about your coverage amount, claiming themselves to be an agent per se, do not. I would suggest that you let them know that you already have something in place. No one else. You should never get that information up. That is your personal information. I would suggest you protect it with your dear life. Now, if you would like me to talk about that on your behalf, I would be more than happy to. But if not, if you don't want to, then I would suggest you don't talk about it whatsoever. Also, I have no problem with chewing out scammers. If anyone else is harassing you, feel free to give me a call. Sound fair, Eli?
Dude. Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Excellent. Last thing here, how did I do today on a scale from 1 to 10?
Dude, you did great. You helped me out. You explained
Cool,
everything.
cool. Excellent. And then is there anyone else in the family you think would benefit from a conversation like this? So that's like the referral piece, which is the third part of the
Right.
framework.
Right.
Um, and then that's just a three-piece framework. And then again, with the letters though, the letters, so a more cost-effective way of doing this, staff actually came up with a really good idea, which is like during the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that, you can send out
Mhm.
automated sort of messages to your clients using the CRM with like memes and shit. Sorry, memes
Yeah.
and stuff, to like, get them to like be a little more happier and stay in the books. But that helps out too. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that helps. And yeah, I do all that you pretty much just said. Just kind of on spot. But no, that's perfect. Letting them know. It's important to let them know about like the mail coming
Mhm.
because sometimes they'll be, oh, I haven't got the mail yet, and
Yeah.
my payment hasn't came out, and they'll think it's done, and then just go with someone else, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. There you go. They think they cancel it or whatever. But yeah, man. So let's talk a little bit. I know we kind of talked about retention, talked about like leads you talked about, like talk to. Let's talk about your actual process, right? Let's talk about like sales process. So step by step from like
Okay.
dial to close, what time do you get in the office? I know I actually had the pleasure of spending some time with you while we were in Utah. Obviously, we weren't
Hmm.
like locked in with each other per se, but you were obviously in the office, right?
Yeah.
So talk about what time you get to the office, what time you leave. What's your day-to-day look like when it comes to like operating?
So I wait. I mean, day to day up at 6 a.m. Getting everything ready. I'm getting back into the gym, starting to doing better at that for sure. And then get my daughter up. And then by the time she's up, I'm usually heading out the door, so I usually just get to say bye. Go to the office about 3, 4 days a week. Work from home the other couple of days. So pretty relaxed schedule there. But being in the office versus home, I mean, have a 2 year old, and anyone that got a kid, y'all know how that is. I mean, it's doable at home if you have to, but I mean, if you got a space to work out, that's why I use the office.
Mhm.
Um, and then yeah, I hit the office as early sometimes as 7:30 a.m. When I don't have when my daughter doesn't have school, I get there actually sometimes a little bit later. But and just hit the phones really. I usually have appointments set up. Now, I mean, just working mortgage protection. Yeah, I do. So I work a little bit different because I can afford to, right? Like I could afford to spend money on leads and send text messages out without dialing them and booking the appointments, and I close out a little bit higher ratio. But with my agents like Jace and everybody else, Jace, Jeremiah, all my other guys that are newer agents that are coming on, they have to sharpen their sword. They can't just start taking appointments right away. So if I was a new agent, I mean, I would start dialing right as I got into the office, dialing age mortgage protection if I didn't have any appointments. Okay. That's what I would do. But now I have appointments. So I just run appointments. Um, but for newer agents, dialing first thing in the morning, I think that's the most important thing. And getting up early enough and into work and ready to be dialing by at least 8 a.m.
Mhm. Okay. 8 a.m. no matter where they are in the.
No, 8 a.m. my time. I mean, yeah, 8 a.m. I'm Mountain Time. Okay, so that's 2 hours behind Florida Eastern Time. hour behind Central, right? So that I and all my leads are usually Central or Eastern. Okay, so it's usually if all my leads are like my A leads are Central and Eastern, I'm calling by 7 a.m. and hitting them by 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yep. There you
Okay.
go.
Um, that's if I'm doing outbound dials, but most of my appointments are booked by 8 a.m. Mountain Time is when I book them just for my to stay sane and have a good schedule. But if I was dialing, then I would be starting at 7 a.m. to hit the people in like Georgia and Alabama, those time
Mhm.
zones.
Gotcha. Dude, I can't imagine like you're hitting like really good gems right now. That a lot of people seem like overlooked too, right? Which is like glitching and optimizing your dialing schedule based around the time zones. Especially when it comes to like outbound, you have to do this. A lot of people like overlook this, man. I
Mhm.
feel like with inbound, it's like, yeah, you just sit there and like, cool, people are gonna call you and wait for it. They'll call you from whatever time zone, right? Outbound though, super crucial because
You gotta
like,
go get it.
pardon?
You gotta go get it.
You
You
have
know,
to. You have
it's not
to.
coming to you.
And that's the thing, and we have to get it at the right times too, right? Because like you just said, I can imagine because when you're calling in Mountain Time, right? It's 8 a.m. Mountain Time. That's 10 a.m. EST.
That's too late.
That's people are leaving, they're already at work.
They're out at work, their phone's on silent,
There you
they're
go.
ignoring your call every time it comes in because they're going to get in trouble by their boss,
Yep.
right? I was telling Luciano this, one of Anthony's agents, he sits across from me. And like, dude, you got to be dialing when they are getting their kids ready for school
Yep.
and booking appointments at that time. And when they're getting out or ready for work, oh no, hey, Ion, yeah, hi, Ion, yeah, this is Eli. I'm just calling regarding that mortgage, with Mountain America.
Yep.
Yeah, you sent us that form in the mail for the mortgage protection. I'm just letting you know we received that information. I need to verify a few quick things. You sound busy. I'll be fast here, okay? I
Yep.
got you at 123 State Street over there in Salt Lake City, right? Okay. Well, and then you just get right into it and you let them know, dude, you sound busy. I don't want to talk to you right now. You sound busy. I'll be quick. Let me verify a few things.
Mhm.
Okay. And then now they're like, oh, okay. And that takes care of an objection right away. Dude, I'm busy. I'm taking care of my kid. Oh, I'm getting ready for work. What are you doing? No, dude, you sound busy. I'll be quick, real quick. This is regarding that mortgage with Mountain America. You sent us that form, remember, for the mortgage protection. Let me just verify a few quick things. Why are you just barely calling me? I sent this, I think, like or what is this? Yep, we'll get right into that. Let me just verify a few quick things, drop their guard a little bit, verify their information. Just don't start rambling right away. Do what you were going to do.
Mhm.
Verify that information. But okay, so now that that's all correct, it's marked incomplete. It shows it wasn't done yet. And I'm just the one that's here to take care of this for you. You sound busy. I just need to see when you're going to be home and normally off work so we can kind of get you on the books and go over this
Yep.
and then just kind of get right into it from there.
No doubt.
Right. But that's what I do mainly in the mornings. Now
Mhm.
in the afternoon when I'm calling, if I were dialing and I was a newer agent and I didn't have appointments booked, I would start dialing at 4 o'clock Mountain Time, which is 5, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, right?
Yep.
When they're getting off of work and driving home. And I'm not trying to book an appointment at that time. I'm going to try to close them up if they have time to talk, right? Because they're probably going to have more time to talk.
That's the truth, man. And these are all the tried and true philosophies of doing outbound efficiently. Someone can clip that. This is literally the game right here. Because again, like you said, people are leaving for work at typically like schedule. I guess we preach with our organization is like by seven. Like, I guess if you're in Pacific time zone, we're on Zoom by like 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because
Sucks to
by
suck, but it is what it
yeah,
is.
but we get off earlier too. You know what I'm saying? We get off by like
True.
6 p.m. You
Boom.
know, but 6:30 a.m. PST. That's like what 8:30 a.m. CST. So people haven't gotten to work yet in Chicago or whatever. That's 7 a.m. Mountain Time or 7:30 Mountain Time, right? So you guys are definitely not leaving for work, right? You just said it yourself, you're getting your daughter ready for school.
Right. But
And
you'll get
then
in
by
trouble calling during those times sometimes. So,
oh
but
shoot,
you're
yeah.
not going to get much leads in Mountain Time anyway. It's mainly
Forgive me.
it's Central, Eastern,
Hmm.
and then that Cali and Washington
Yep.
area.
Yep. Yep.
Honestly, there's not much Utah and Nevada leads and that type of stuff. It's kind of over there. But I guess it's actually a cheat code for you because the earlier you wake up, you guys can call anyone, really,
Yeah.
honestly.
Without violating compliance codes, of course, right? But
Yeah, right, right.
you hear that from me. But regardless, though, yeah, man, this is all really good stuff. Um, what about like in terms of, and this is another thing too, attesting what you've been saying. MP, correct me if I'm wrong, has the highest close ratio. That's my argument. I see MP ethos leads are the only leads that have like a show ratio that is worth it enough to book an appointment. Everything else, at least from what I believe, you can debate me with this. I think everything else will not show up. Like I think
Yeah.
that's MP and ethos leads. Three leads that will actually show up for appointments. Everything else not really.
Yeah, anything final expense, like those are called to close,
Mhm.
right? Those are called to close unless you absolutely have to book an appointment, right? But mortgage protection, yeah, those, yeah, it's just better, man. I think it's just better. And mortgage protection will turn into final expense sometimes, but it's just sometimes just a higher end person. They're going to show up. You can actually book the appointments and they're going to show up. You're still going to get no showed. Trust me, I get no showed all the time.
Mhm.
But that's why I book 10, 12 appointments a day so that when I get four no shows in a row, I still got six, seven more people that are going to be ready to go. So I got a 10-year-old and that's all she does. And it's just crazy. And I coach high school football, that 6, 7 crap. It's just out there. But
Mhm.
anyway, yeah, yeah.
Got it. Another thing too, I also want to add is like all leads work, ladies and gentlemen. Like there's no such thing as a good lead or a bad lead. Like it really just comes down to your skill level. Like we talked about this before. We do not teach will here. If you come to VIPA, you are not here to learn how to want to show up. We don't teach you that. We're not here to hold you accountable. We're not here to do any of that stuff. We're here to maintain a standard and to teach you the skills of how to be successful in this business. So regardless if it's MP, regardless if it's outbound, inbound, that's whatever, FEX, every single lead works. What do you think about that? Would you say that that's true, Elijah?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Every lead works 100%.
Okay. Because there are organizations that literally built their business off of calling friends and family. So if they can do that, there's no way in hell that we can't
Oh,
make
yeah.
it work here,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It just comes down to like the understanding of each and every lead, right? So let's talk a
Yeah.
little bit about metrics too, right? So actual like objectively, what are the metrics you're tracking to like measure your outbound effectiveness?
So if you're outbounding leads, this is just the generic number that I've ran across, and it gets a little bit less if the lead is newer. Okay. So me personally, I'm outbounding. When I was outbounding leads, they were 2 to 3 years old. Okay. So it took me more attempts to get appointments. Obviously, they were older leads, phones are disconnected. But honestly, like the older leads are gold. I love old leads. Just like Samir always talks about the buying stage. I know we get sick of him blabbing about it. There's buying stages, buying stages, right? But dude, it's so true. Like to close the brand new mortgage lead, you gotta have some skill, because you're trying to get somebody that just filled something out right away to buy. Like it's actually kind of hard to do, low key, right? So anyway, I'm getting off topic there, and that happens a lot. But with older leads and those age ones, it's going to take you every ten conversations you have, or 10 dials, which triple dials. So I guess 30 if you have to triple dial. But every 10 dials or 10 separate contacts, you should book one appointment with every 10 people you call. Okay. And that's triple dialing them, hitting them up. So you got to do the numbers and your expectations from there. Now, if you go down to a 1 year old lead, it's probably going to go down to about every 7 to 8 people you talk to. Okay. 6 to 7, 7 to 8 people you talk to, you're going to book an appointment. So you're having to buy, if you're dialing mortgage protection, you're having to buy 600 leads a week, right? Sometime and use those, and you're dialing those. Now with Wave Dial, that makes it a way easier. I'm not getting sponsored for this or paid for this, but that makes it way easier for you to get through those dials now. Before, I didn't have no CRM. I just had a spreadsheet, copy, paste, copy the number, paste it into my phone burner or whatever it was. Send, copy, paste, send, copy, paste, send. I was quick with it. But now y'all have Wave Dialer, right? So you can call 5 people at a time. It's cakewalk now. If I had a dial, I wouldn't even mind it anymore because Wave Dialer is going to get me on the phone with somebody way faster. Before I was dialing to, you know how sometimes it would take you 10 dials, and on that 10th dial, somebody will answer. And you're like, holy shit, finally you book the appointment, right? The numbers are usually true to themselves, right? So for 2 to 3 year old leads, every 10 people you talk to, you should book at least an appointment or two. Okay. And then if the lead is newer, it should be less. I get 10 brand new A leads a week, just bumped it up to 15. And there's sometimes I'll book every single one of those in the same day I get them because they just came in. I'll call all 10 A leads and they'll all book right then. And I'm just like, hallelujah. And I'll only close like 2 of them. but it's just the way it is, you know? I mean, it's just numbers. So, but yeah. That's kind of the metrics when it comes to mortgage protection and what your expectations are when you're buying and dialing those leads. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So to summarize it, you said that like your main focus is setting an appointment out of 1 every 10 calls. You talked about but you didn't, what about like dials wise? Like, I know you said that like you would make the most amount of dials. Like, how many dials are you averaging a day, would you say? Or how many dials would you say you suggest to your agents every day?
So what I did with dials is I did pretty much kind of how Harold would explain it to people, right? Is you take a certain amount of dials. I've heard Harold explain it this way. I heard Dominic Rogers explain it this way. You take 100 to 150 leads, and that's your lead pack for the day. And you're going to be hitting those in the morning and at the end of the day too. So however, and then you're going to be hitting those triple dialing them. Okay, people, oh, triple dial, scary. Oh, aren't they going to be mad, Eli? Well, hell yeah. But aren't you like, do you want to call them again?
Yeah.
And then honestly, when they get on the phone, probably 1 out of 5 people are really pissed. And you just tell them, dude, I don't know what was going on. It was going straight to voicemail. I thought my phone was bad. I was trying to leave a voicemail. It said it was full. Anyway, you're on the phone now. And I'm trying to get a hold of you, dude. You're a hard one to get a hold of. Ion, dang. And then they're like, oh, yeah, I'm busy. If you tell somebody that, they're going to laugh every time and it changes the mode. What are you calling about, dude? I've been trying to get a hold of you, Ion. This is about regarding the Mountain America mortgage. Remember, you sent us that form, dude. You're a hard person to get a hold of. What the heck do you do?
You're a celebrity, yeah,
dude. What do you do? Oh, dude, I'm a grandpa, and I got, I'm just like, oh, blah blah blah, whatever, right? But everybody got something, right? And then you just go from there. So,
okay.
But
because you take your ethos is basically $300 a day out of 150 agents, same metrics basically. And out of 10 every $10, 1 appointment, cool. And then closing ratio is subject to the individual, correct? Right? What would you say is like, yeah? How would you? How many out of how many? Let's say 4 presentations. How many would you say you're closing? What's your close ratio?
I mean, if I'm taking 4 presentations that actually need it, because there's presentations that people don't even know their head from their ass sometimes, right? And you're just like, okay, let's make sure we're on the same page. And like, we are not on the same page, right? Like, you can try to flip those. Sometimes they're 50-50, but like, if I'm talking to 5 people that actually booked an appointment and that are actually wanting to talk about mortgage protection, I'm closing at least 3 of them, maybe 4, right? My close rate and my agents' close ratios are high. And you can even ask my agents, like, there'll be times I'll have 4 appointments in a day, or I'll have 8 appointments in a day and only talk to 4 of them and close all 4 of them.
Okay.
Right. So our close ratios are super high. That's all based off of how you are going about the presentation and how your training is, honestly.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what kind of skills are you teaching your new agents when they come into our agency?
So the skills that
or systems or whatever.
Here's the thing. Here's what agents don't get is they come from other industries and they think that they know it. Oh, I've sold hella cars or hella solar or I sold this. Good. That's great. And we're going to need that experience. But forget your process and forget what you did. Here's the freaking script do it. Okay. Unless they're making more money than you, which most of your downlines really shouldn't be. Here's the script. Shut up and just do it. Okay. And this is kind of what we tell our agents. Not like that, but that's like most of my agents, we can talk to them like that because they're badasses and they don't care. But it's like, Jace, that call was great. I don't know how you ended up selling it, but dude, it would have been a lot easier if you just followed the script, right? Next call, he follows the script, right? This dude's brand new agent writing heck of business all of a sudden, right? And it's because he unmutes, which is one, and then he follows the script. Okay. And it's not even and my script here, I'll throw it right here. It's not even a script, it's a bullet point presentation. Because I mean, and this is where me and Kenneth, this is where we're good, why we have each other, because he's good at showing people the script word for word. But me, I'm not that type of learner. I'm a learner that has to have a script that is going to be kind of showing me a bullet point of kind of what I need to be doing. And that's the point we get across with our agents is we're saying, follow this bullet point. And if you follow this bullet point script and you do the presentation in this order that I'm posting here, then you're going to get the objections out the way and you're going to be able to close the deal a lot sooner. Okay. And it's going to be, you're going to get rid of the bull crap and you're going to be able to close the deal. So this is what I get across my agent's head. Like, guys, you're going to want to do what you want. I know what you've done at your other industry. I know you were a baller over there. I get it. But just kind of forget all of that. Keep the kind of overcoming objections in that skill set, obviously. But just look at this and go about your presentation in this way. And what this does is it gets objections out of the way.
Shaves down the lead.
It does.
Yeah.
So, and this is going to work with almost any type of lead. But this is going to get all the objections out of the way if you do the presentation in this order. Even if they throw you off, I just wanted to know the price. That's where new agents get thrown a lot and try to follow the point, and then the client says something, it throws them off. Just like any basic sales training is, you address it, you agree with it, you love on it for a second, and you say, we're going to get to that here in a second. I'm glad you're already thinking about that. But yes, we definitely going to make sure this fits your budget, okay? Because if this doesn't fit your budget, Ion, we're not going to even, I can get in trouble for not getting you something that's suitable for you, okay? So I'm going to make sure this fits your budget. I'm glad that you're worried about that. And that's going to be one of our next points here. But let's just make sure we're on the same page about what this is for. Bullet point number 2, okay? Most people want to make sure that if the moneymaker of the house were to pass away or become sick or disabled, that the mortgage will be taken care of so their loved ones aren't losing the house or facing foreclosure. Is that what you thought this was for?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, then you're just getting right into it, So it's just following a process. And then, dude, I do this process in the car now because I understand what order to go about the presentation, even if it's a laydown. I have people say, yeah, I'm ready to sign right away after bullet point number 2 or 3, but you still have to go through every bullet point because it's getting rid of the objections that they don't even know they have, right?
Okay.
So that's to answer your question in a long story. What do we do to our agents to make sure they're successful and get them running business with mortgage protection? Just get them to follow a bullet point script and forget what they know. Yep. And we role play and we go unmute all the time. Yep. Role play, and unmute because they're gonna say, I said that and they said this. Oh, I said that and they said this. Dude, no, you didn't. Okay. And the reason why you're afraid to unmute because you're not saying that.
There you go. Bingo. Got it.
It's the main reason why you're afraid to unmute. You're not saying what we're telling you to say. You're sugarcoating it because you're kind of scared. Yeah. But scared money don't make money. Yeah. And until you get uncomfortable, like Sean Mike says, once you become comfortable being uncomfortable and asking weird and questions that are going to challenge people, you're going to stay broke.
Yep. There you go. Dude, it's not like we're going to call them out either. It's like if you unmute and you make a mistake, that's our job, right? Our job is to help out an agent. No one's going to get called out. We're not foolish enough to sit here and just make fun of an agent, while they're like on it. That'll make us look bad as leaders, right? We're not supposed to be doing stuff like that.
I don't even think that's ever even happened in the history.
Right. And if that does, call HD or Samir.
Oh, if that does, you're out. You're not even in the Zoom. As soon as if I ever seen that happening, they would be out, and I would even want them in my agency at that point.
Absolutely
They're
not.
not.
We
This
don't
is
play
not the
that.
type of person. So
Absolutely. We don't play that at
unmute,
all.
become vulnerable, and just follow the damn script because there's people. The people who are above you hired you on, and you trusted them for a reason.
Mm.
Don't trust them and get hired on, and all of a sudden try to do your own thing.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. Dude, I think this is a perfect way for us to like wrap this up, man. New agents, follow the script. That's essentially your advice. Follow the damn script. That's it. Right?
Unmute. Yep.
Unmute,
Full
follow the damn
script and
script.
unmute.
Yep, there you go. I think we're pretty much short for time. I want to give everyone else the opportunity to pick your brain a little bit, ask some questions if that's cool with you, yeah?
Yeah.
Yo, thank you so much, Eli, dude. I appreciate you so much.